All right, let's jump right in. Have you ever stopped to think about what really makes a workplace, well, tick? It's not always the mission statement they hang on the wall or the fancy coffee machine in the break room. Today, we're going to dig into the invisible architecture that truly shapes an organization, and it all starts with the structure of human attitude. So let's ask that big question again. What really builds a company's culture? Is it the big top-down directives, or is it something, I don't know, deeper? Something happening at a really fundamental human level? Well, as we're about to see, the answer is hiding in plain sight. It lies deep within our own attitudes and our own behaviors. So yeah, let's break down how this whole thing works. Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to build this idea up piece by piece. First up, we'll look at the core components. Think of them as the individual bricks. Then, we'll get into the forces that actually shape those bricks. After that, we'll see how they connect to create actions, and finally, we'll zoom all the way out to see how this builds an entire organization, from just one person all the way up to the whole team. All right, first things first, we have to get our definitions straight. We're talking about two foundational building blocks here, attitude and behavior. Now, they might sound kind of similar, but trust me, the difference between them is absolutely key to understanding everything else. So, let's kick things off with attitude. The best way to think about attitude is like your internal blueprint, right? It's your private internal evaluation of something. It's whether you actually like that new project, or if you trust a colleague, or how you really feel about a new company policy. It's that whole world of thoughts and feelings that just exists inside your head. And then there's behavior. Behavior is what everyone else can see. It's the external action. So if your attitude is the blueprint, then your behavior is the physical act of, laying the bricks, making that phone call, or hitting send on that email. It's what you actually physically do. And here is the crucial split, right? Attitude is internal, it's the blueprint. Behavior is external, it's the construction. So why does this even matter? Well, think about it. You can't see a blueprint. You can only see the building. And this is a huge mistake a lot of companies make. They try to change the building, the behavior, without ever stopping to look at the blueprint, the attitude that's driving the whole thing in the first place.
Okay, so if our attitude is the blueprint, what shapes it? What forces are sketching out those plans before we even think about acting on them? And that question brings us perfectly into our second section, the shaping forces. But before we list them out, just take a second here. Think about it for yourself. What influences how you feel about your job on any given day? Seriously, is it your commute in the morning? A weird conversation you had with a coworker yesterday? Maybe it's just the quality of the coffee, right? It's almost always a mix of a ton of different things. So all these little influences, that's what we call determinants. And it makes perfect sense when you think about it. Your past experience with a really tough project, that is absolutely going to shape your attitude about the next one. Or how about the social cues from your team? If they're all super enthusiastic or super cynical, that's going to color your own feelings for sure. Even just getting new information, like hearing the company just landed a huge new client, can totally reshape your internal blueprint from one day to the next. Okay, so we've got the blueprint, our attitude, and we know what kinds of forces shape it. The big question now is, how does that internal plan actually get turned into an external action? This, right here, is probably the most critical connection in this entire structure, the link between our attitude and our behavior. It's all about this chain reaction. This is literally how thoughts become actions. It all starts with an attitude, right? An internal belief, something like, you know what, my contribution here really matters. And that attitude, it fuels a specific intention, a plan to act. Like, okay, I'm gonna go help my colleague with that problem. And then that intention leads directly to an observable behavior. You actually get up, walk over, and share what you know. So it's attitude to intention to action. And this is the key takeaway here. An attitude, especially a positive one, isn't just some passive feeling. It is potential energy. It's the very first domino that, when it falls, sets off a whole chain of positive actions. A really strong internal blueprint doesn't just sit in a drawer somewhere. It creates this almost undeniable urge to get up and start building.
All right, this is where it all starts to scale up and get really interesting. We've seen how this whole process works inside one person. But a company isn't just one building, is it? It's more like a whole city. So what happens when you have hundreds, maybe thousands, of these individual blueprints and individual actions all happening at the same time? Well, that is exactly how we get from me to we. And you know what? The idea is remarkably simple, but it is so profound. The culture and the behavior of an entire organization. It's not some mystical force that comes from the sky. It is just the grand total of every single individual action that happens every single day. And this is what we mean by the scaling effect. Check this out. One person decides to have a helpful attitude, and they act on it. Boom. That contributes to a more collaborative team. One employee commits to being punctual. That helps build a reliable department. You get one person with a proactive mindset, and then you multiply that across the whole company? That's how you get a truly innovative organization. It all just scales up from these small individual parts.
This quote from Grenter and Whitaker, wow, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Culture isn't just about the good behaviors we try to encourage. It's also defined by the worst behavior we're willing to just let slide. Because what a leader tolerates, that sends a powerful signal to everyone else about what's actually acceptable. It effectively redraws the collective blueprint for the entire team.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Every single one of us is an architect of our workplace culture. Your actions, even the ones that feel small and insignificant, helping a colleague, meeting a deadline, speaking up with a new idea, those are the literal bricks and mortar that are building your company's reality, day by day. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If your internal attitude is the blueprint for everything you do, and your actions are the building blocks for your entire organization, then it's worth taking a moment to think about the blueprint you're holding right now. So the question is, what are you building?